Well, initially, the Strait of Hormuz was declared open by President Trump. Overnight, Iran says it's closed. So, is it open or is it closed? And should the United States unfreeze assets in exchange for Iran's enriched uranium? April 22nd is the next big deadline in the war against Iran. Here to discuss, the former Deputy Commander of United States Central Command, retired Vice Admiral from the United States Navy, Robert Harward. Admiral, it's a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much. Help us make sense of all of this competing messaging and these different moves through now. Is the strait open? Or is it closed, and is the U.S. military helping to facilitate the passage of ships there?
The U.S. military is always prepared to support in any way they can and aligned with the Commander-in-Chief's objectives. And it's very clear that the president has two top priorities. Number one, as you've just articulated, flow of commerce through the Straits of Hormuz. But closely tied to that, or second in priority at this time, considering the timing and the impact it's having on the world economy, is the fact that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. So those are the president's top two priorities, and he's pushing for that. But if the Iranians aren't going to comply with those demands and find a negotiated settlement, he's willing and will escalate the options he has available, which included, as we've seen previously, strikes and boots on the ground, as we did to recover the pilot. So again, those priorities are top of the president's list, and he's going to see those through. It's just what method the Iranians are going to come to achieve those objectives.
Admiral, U.S. Central Command says that more than 10,000 American soldiers, Marines, and airmen are involved, along with dozens of warships and aircraft in the situation around the Strait of Hormuz. You mentioned boots on the ground as being an option that the president could have with the limited number of people that we have at the ready at the moment. What would that look like post Tuesday, April 22nd?
Well, there's a whole range of options. Look, we showed we could go in, take a piece of ground, hold it to recover that pilot. We could do the same thing anywhere else in Iran to accomplish a few things. Further illustrate to the regime that we can do that we have the power to do whatever we want to do in Iran, and to also illustrate to the people of Iran the commitment the president made to them. Help is on the way, and that's another form. So coming into the country, and not for occupation, but for maybe a brief period of time as a raid, further illustrates how impotent the regime is and the options and what we can do. It could be expanded to taking Kharg Island, as we've all talked about, maybe Abadan, their refineries, maybe other cities or locations, just to illustrate and add to our negotiating positions, because all of the options we have to continue to degrade their capabilities and illustrate to them the inevitable outcome of this whole conflict.
We did hear this morning, Admiral, that the UK reporting that a ship, one of its ships, was fired upon by an IRGC boat. So long as the regime is in power, they can, and they've shown that they can blackmail the world by mining the strait or otherwise threatening commerce there. Do you believe that some U.S. or allied naval presence there is prudent over the longer term to effectively take control of the strait and make sure that it doesn't happen?
Well, there's two ways to achieve that. You and the end state, I have always believed, as a regime in Iran that denounces the Islamic Revolution, as which they came to power for, and the policies that they brought to the table, as well as their operations, and that's control of the Straits of Hormuz. This is international waters, freedom of navigation. And we've done this before. The French, the British, others have been involved in the Gulf and ensuring that freedom. I would not be surprised to see them return to support that. But at the end of the day, the best solution is for Iran to make those guarantees. And that's part of what this conflict is all about. Those policies that Iran has brought them to power and have kept them in power, threatening the straits, nuclear weapons, armed the exporting and supporting of the Islamic Revolution through Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, and others. So ultimately, a regime that renounces all that guarantees that they will meet those objectives is the easiest way. So if we have to continue the conflict and bring in other nations to support that, that's another strategy and maybe a longer-term approach. But both of those ensure that ultimately the freedom of navigation and commerce will flow.
Admiral, a contributing factor to any sign of cooperation from Iran was the Trump administration helping both Israel and Lebanon reach a ceasefire agreement Thursday evening. Iran's proxy groups have a very long reach. Isn't cutting off those groups a critical component of any deal with Iran to end this war? Shouldn't that be?
Without a doubt. And as I said, if the regime or the future government agrees to cease that support, those entities wither on the vine and do not exist without the financial training and material support of Iran. Hezbollah, the Houthis, Hamas no longer exist, or at least in their current capacity and their ability to threaten the region, other GCC members, and the flow of commerce through the Strait. So again, you can do it through force, which this administration has been showing their willingness to do, as has Israel. But the better approach is a diplomatic solution where the government of Iran continues or guarantees to cease those activities.
Yeah, and then Israel can go in and take care of whatever armed elements there are that are still threatening its borders. Former Deputy CENTCOM Commander and Navy SEAL, Vice Admiral Robert Harward, thank you for your service to the country, sir. God bless.
Thank you.